We're continuing our coverage here in the police shooting here out of Wisconsin. Let me give you the facts. Tonight, 29-year-old Jacob Blake fighting for his life after the 7 shots he took to the back from police on Sunday. The Trump Justice Department is now assisting this probe, aided by potentially incriminating video. This was captured by a witness. It shows Blake walking away and trying to enter his car where his children were. Now, we have not, evidentiary-wise, been able to yet confirm everything that happened before the recording started, but it's part of the evidence. And let me warn you, it's graphic. That is some of what we know. What's new tonight, and we were discussing this at the top of the hour, but we have several things we haven't shown you yet and some special guests coming up. Blake's family speaking out and his attorney giving an update on his condition.
The medical diagnosis right now is that he is paralyzed. And because those bullets severed his spinal cord and shattered some of his vertebrae, it is going to take a miracle for Jacob Blake Jr. to ever walk again.
Blake's father also speaking out today. He was saying that he wanted to put his hand on his son's cheek and kiss him on his forehead and tell him he'd be okay. That's just some of the emotional public testimony we're hearing. As for what's going on out there, well, protests continue in Wisconsin. Last night, there was an 8 p.m. curfew. There's also a state of emergency. And as we have seen in some of these other police shootings, this one fast becoming a national catalyst for change. Protesters back out marching in Minneapolis, New York, L.A., Washington, D.C., and then LeBron James also speaking out last night.
We are scared as Black people in America. We are terrified. If you're sitting here telling me that there was no way to subdue that gentleman before the firing of guns, then you're sitting here, you're lying to not only me, you're lying to every African American, because we see it over and over and over.
I'm joined now by Cheryl Laird, a professor at Bowdoin College, co-author of Steadfast Democrats, the social forces shaping Black political action, and Wisconsin State Representative David Bowen, who is on the ground dealing with all of this. Thanks to both of you for joining us for what is a sad topic, but an important discussion. And Cheryl, I just want to play a little more. As I mentioned to viewers, there's a lot of different aspects of this. So a little more that we haven't heard yet from civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Take a listen.
Can you imagine what his 8-year-old son, who was celebrating his birthday, is going to think about every time he has his birthday? The pain in his father? Can you imagine? This is real. This is real, America. This is real. This is what we have to endure every day, being profiled by the people who are supposed to protect and serve us.
Cheryl, what do we need to know and understand about the history and context of how something like this, as we've been covering, keeps happening?
Yeah, I think what we need to think about is the long time that we have seen this type of behavior coming from police. And a lot of that is stemming from the history of where African Americans have been situated in the United States. It has to do a lot with the criminality that has been associated with Black people. It can go all the way back to slavery. We look at slave patrols and fugitive slave laws, and even today within the Black Lives Matter movement. So police brutality and these concerns has not been something that is limited to this contemporary time, but is something that really has spanned the course of American history, and has been something that the Black community, as well as other communities of color, have been dealing with for quite some time. So sadly, Jacob Blake is just another story of a broader narrative of what has gone on.
State Representative Bowen, walk us through what you see as critical for the next steps in Wisconsin. We've been reporting on the fact that, like many states, including states run by Democrats, as I've noted, you have these problems. You had an all-time high on police use of force there just last year.
Well, in particular, right now, we don't have any cooperation from Republicans who control the legislature. And we know what people are calling for right now is for change. They're calling for laws to be changed in state statute so that officers can't move and do things this way. We know that this isn't something that can be reformed. This is something that demands transformation. And when you talk about what public safety looks like and how it is administered, how it is gained in communities, it means that we have to have a completely new conversation about how to do that, and transforming law enforcement and how we have them operate to what they're called to do in our communities has to change systematically.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.